I'm fascinated with the phrase, this is a temporary defensive position, and I'm reminded of Milton Friedman's one-liner, there's nothing in this world more permanent than a temporary government program.
Right. And in fact, the Israelis have advanced into Syria on the ground. They have also launched a ferocious bombing campaign intended to destroy Syria's air defenses and other military installations. And they are engaged in territorial expansion in Syria, whatever nice face you put on it. It is also somewhat ironic, I think, that Mr. Netanyahu, who heads a tyranny over the Palestinians, which he has used to very cruel effect, should claim to be extending the merits of the end of a tyranny in Syria to other people. It was a tyranny, and the horrible evidence of torture and murder in the vast prison system that the Assad government came to depend on to stay in power is now being revealed. There are probably over 100,000 people who had disappeared who are actually dead, according to Syrian sources.
Talk to me a little bit about what to me is odd, but you have a far superior understanding of this, alliance between Israel and Turkey with respect to the demise of the Assad regime. I mean, Erdogan says the most awful things about Netanyahu and about the behavior of the IDF in Gaza, and then he forms some sort of a temporary alliance with the Israelis to topple Assad. Can you unwind that for us?
Well, the objectives of the two, to some extent, have coincided. They both wanted to get rid of Assad and his government. They both had territorial ambitions. They both were engaged in support for jihadi groups in Syria, fighting against the Assad government. In the case of Turkey, they have an additional motive, which is that they're about 3.5 to 5 million Syrian refugees in Turkey, and Turkey is desperate to have them return. It has also wanted a free hand in Syria to batter the Kurds, who have a quasi-independent state, which is allied with the PKK, the domestic Turkish terrorist movement that fights for Kurdish self-determination. And I suspect that the Turks will now go after that. I would note that much of the training, this was not a guerrilla force that took Damascus. This was a very well-organized conventional army with tanks and other modern weaponry, well-led, well-trained. And most of the training, I think, was probably done by the Turks with some help from the Israelis and probably the CIA. But they part company when it comes to the issue of Palestine. And I suspect that Turkey will have dominant influence in Syria if it remains intact as a country. The Israelis will do everything possible to ensure that it doesn't.